Have you ever been playing Terraria and thought to yourself, man, this game is just too damn normal and comprehensible? Almost certainly not, but let's imagine you have. I decided one day that I had way too much free time and went to browse the Terraria workshop. You can find all sorts of amazing texture packs and maps there that overhaul the game's art style, give it a fantastic polish to make it shine like a game that came out in present day, or turn it into an adventure game by using mechanics in ways you've never thought possible. But I wasn't looking for that. I went browsing on the flip side of the workshop, home of stupid memes, dumb eds, and nonsensical texture packs they'd probably never want to actually be installed. I figured it'd be interesting to try and combine the strangest things I could find there into one horrible concoction to alter the Terraria experience as much as possible without actually changing anything of value. So I scoured the workshop high and low and compiled 78 of the most interesting texture packs I could find into one complete package. Now, I did restrain myself a bit. I try not to include any joke too many times. About half the things on the workshop are waifu texture packs, and the other half are Among Us jokes. While those are pretty solid, I want Suffering to come in a variety package, so I restricted myself to just 1 or 2 instances of each. Additionally, I didn't want to get anything too obnoxious. Like, I love Terraria, but every sound is bruh, as much as the next guy, but again, variety is key here. And there are some limits to how absurdly dumb something can get before it becomes obnoxious. I also tried to have the collection cover everything pretty well, from bosses to music to NPCs to other bizarro things you'd never think of. As a note, despite the collective name, nothing in here is actually a bad texture pack on its own. All of them are fun little additions to the game, but when combined together, I just intended to overwhelm the player with bizarre additions. So, absolutely no disrespect to the creators of the texture packs, they all did great jobs. All the disrespect should, much more deservedly, go to me. And after a few months of searching and tweaking, I finally finished the best worst texture pack collection you've ever seen. And I'd like to show you what's in store. So, without further ado, I present to you Starman's Pack of Misery. Oh, also, my funny graph is looking really askew right now. If you guys want to subscribe to even out a bit, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks. First things first, if you want to experience the pack blind for whatever reason, there's a link in the description to check it out. So you should probably just follow that instead of watching this. But if you want to see what's in store, let's boot up the game and discover everything that awaits in the stupidest Terraria playthrough you can possibly imagine. Oh wait, sorry. Did I say Terraria? Silly me. I meant Tear. Half the letters, double the fun. At a glance is the only notable change to the title screen, and technically it is. But, as we all know, the horrors in the world only emerge at night. And now you can't even take comfort in the light of the moon. I mean, it's still there, but I doubt you'll be getting any comfort for that lovely face staring at you from the sky. Character creation won't have surprises to lull you into false sense of security. Like, yeah, I could have gone the ever-popular waifu Terrarian, but I allowed myself a single waifu reskin, and wanted to save for something less overdone. Now I would heavily recommend going Crimson if you actually decide to play this. You'll see why shortly. Upon loading into the world, you should be able to see a couple of the packs in action. Now, it's pretty common knowledge at this point that the guide is the wall of flesh. And I guess at this point, he just really gave up on trying to hide it. Well, that's what's supposed to happen. This texture pack sadly doesn't work, except it kinda does, as the map icon still works fine. So I don't know what's up with it, but I'm still keeping it in here, in case the pack creator decides to update it. Speaking of things that don't work, our copper tools have been left on the brain for so long they've become to oxidize. Except it's not just these tools, it's all copper in the world. I'm not really sure why I opted into the fully oxidized copper pack, but it feels like it's just the right amount of weird to ease you into a full run of the collection, so I'm glad I did. After a minute or so, the first enemies are gonna come to start viciously attacking you. These are most likely gonna be slimes. Now, I obviously couldn't leave these poor guys alone, so I present to you Sussy Slimes. Now, this pack is one of the less notable ones, but it will be an ever-present force in the game, because the creator of this pack may work on every single slime in the game. From green to hell to rainbow to even the bosses, though willing to see it on one. Additionally, zombies have been Half-Life 2-ified into headcrab zombies, just with some visual flair. He'll be seeing these guys a lot as well. Like I said, a constant ever-present reminder of exactly what we're doing. Fun times. Speaking of constant reminders, the damage sounds are replaced by the Half-Life scientist screams. That's the link for hit sounds. Death sound is a much more perfect fit when you get killed by a boulder that you can't see coming. And speaking of boulders, those have also been changing the most predictable joke in existence. Still funny though. At least to me. Oh yeah, and to add to the dying experience, every single tombstone has been replaced by a singular F for respect. So that makes graveyards look more interesting. At this point, I'll probably start exploring the underground. And don't worry, there's plenty waiting for you down there. For one thing, bombing way down is going to be more interesting, as every single bombing throw will now explode into a vine thud. This pack is hilarious, not solely because of the sound, because of the exponentially increasing frequency of the sound. Pre-boss it'll only be for explosive weapons and stuff. But then you get to bosses with explosions, like Skeletron Prime, or late game weapons with that exact sound that fire turbo fast, like the solar eruption. It just becomes a sensory overload I can't help but laugh at. Anyways, there's more to focus on now. The mushroom music is now something even more funky. There are two versions of this pack, one with the standard song, and one in unbearably low quality, and you already know which way I had to go with. But to counter that out, I figured I'd get something actually pleasant, colored statues. Addition to the game we've always hoped for, and now possible through texture packs. This is one of the 3 things here is classified as actually good packs. Another one of them is called Boss Relic, which is so similar I figured I'd just mention it here. What about the real loot underground? Well, I've got you covered. In a pretty neat reskin, Life Crystals become Life Box from Sonic. I'm not sure if it works on boulders, but either way, it's a fun change. I've also included a pack called Strange Pets and Summons. It turns a bunch of random pets and summons into random things. The finch staff becomes a beehive, the baby shark becomes an angry nimbus, and other stuff like that. This is another one you'll be constantly reminded of throughout your playthrough. When something appears, it's just a bit different than normal. Now, as for chest loot, I've changed 2 of the best items you can get, so you can be even more excited to encounter them. Oh, you're gonna hear this one a lot. The running sound in every form of Hermes boots has been replaced by that stupid cartoon run sound effect I can't get enough of. And for what may very well be my favorite pack of them all, the sound of the magic mirror or recall potion or anything else like that has been replaced by DaBaby's Let's Go. I love this one so much because it was one of the few packs that got right when the workshop was introduced. I've used it in every single playthrough since, to the point where I'm legitimately more used to this than the regular magic mirror sounds. I can't tell if that's a blessing or a curse, but either way, it's pretty funny. Oh, well, look at that. NPCs have started moving in. NPC reskins are some of my favorite packs on the workshop, and so you'd better believe you got enough to cover nearly every NPC in the game. Of course, I had to upgrade the merchant to take after the most famous merchant of modern times. There are actually like 3 packs that do this exact same thing. This one was the best from my experience. Now, the nurse was a bit harder. Basically, every single one of her reskins was something super lewd, and as I stated, I limited myself to one of those. So instead, Chansey. Not my favorite reskin in the world, but I need to do something. And fitting with the magic mirror, the golfer has become DaBaby himself. Fitting since he's got the conscience in the desert as well. And rounding out the cast for now, the Demolitionist has remembered that to sell a product, you need to be the product, and turn himself into everyone's favorite self-destruction device. Either that or he's secretly a spider, because wall creepers have also become creepers. Jeez, it's starting to rain. It's hard to find a full reskin for an event, because of how many things one needs to repaint. The only full reskin I could find was one for the waifu Goblinari, but you know the deal with that at this point. That said, I did find some nice smaller reskins, those common of which is music, and I happened to find exactly that for the rain. Remember, when it rains, it drips. And while we're here, sandstorm music has been turned into the most predictable joke known to man. Now at this point, you should be getting ready to fight your first boss. I made it my main goal to find something for each and every boss in the game. Except the evil boss, I couldn't really find anything for them. And deer clops, I guess, but nobody cares. So if you're ready for bosses, you better be ready for some bad jokes as well. Starting small, King Slime just kinda speaks for himself. Although depending on the order you have the pack setting, it'll show up as this, or King Sus from the Sussy Slimes packs. As for his drops, the tooltip for gel describes as both tasty and flammable, but I didn't think it would ever look so appetizing. I could feel is much more interesting though. I really like this pack, or rather this pack, man. Turning the Eye of Cthulhu into the most famous circle with a mouth is pretty ingenious, and the fact that it serves to turn to the OG Pac-Man sprite is just the icing on the cake. After this, or probably before, you're probably gonna start exploring horizontally on the world. Exploring a great big world can get pretty lonely, so I put a little friend to help keep you company in the minimap.
Hey y'all!
Eventually, you'll inevitably stumble across the corruption. But, did we go Crimson? Well, yes, we did. But thanks to old Terraria, it now looks like the corruption. This is one of the most disorientingly weird packs in the collection, which makes it one of my favorites. Past the Crimson, you'll find the jungle, home of beetles, bees, and piranha plants. This is a small addition to a larger pack that'll come up later, but it's worth mentioning at present. Now back to those bees for a minute. I'm not sure I really trust them. I love hunting as much as the next guy, but I'm starting to have doubts whether that's actually what they're making here. Luckily, if you kill enough of them, one of them will finally reveal their secrets. The cabbage, immune to poison, and a good source of vitamin A. Finally, if you're brave enough to trek inside a beehive and want to confront the bees about the, unusual honey, you can encounter the mastermind behind it all.
I'm Dr. Robotnik. I touch what I want.
This pack is so dumb and I adore it for that. Now you probably noticed my fashionable attire. This is the only change I wanted for the Blood Moon, simply making the top hat taller. Simply perfection. Well, with the boss we've beaten at this point, some new NPCs are bound to have moved in. So let's knock out a couple of these guys. The arms dealer seems to be taking the demolitionist mindset of being the product and has turned himself into a gun. It's hilarious how much this actually looks like something that'd be in Enter the Gungeon. The angler has done something similar. You know, there's that theory that eventually everything evolves into a crab. Well, I guess the angler's just ahead of his time. My favorite part about this one is how insanely small it makes him. It's so easy to just accidentally miss this guy entirely. This pack also changes dialogue to make the kid less of a brat, which is pretty nice. And speaking of dialogue changes, I couldn't find any great respray for the die trader, but I did find this one pack that changed the dialogue when you give him a strange plant, solely to make the text box not change size, to make it easier to give him a ton of them. It's a pretty nice change, but the dialogue of the creator went with is so funny I felt it'd surpass any other option for this guy. And since we just beat Queen Bee, we also have the Witch Doctor now, who would be all bulked up, but this one also sadly doesn't work. I'm keeping it in for lack of better options. Since we just checked out the jungle, and explore the dungeon is the next logical step, the guardian of the dungeon, much like the guide, has just given up on hiding his curse at this point. This also works on the clothier and even resprites the voodoo doll. Eventually, night will fall, and when you're ready you can fight Skeletron. Except that name isn't really very fitting anymore, as he seems to have grown some skin. Yes, this is Skeletron, but he is me. Well, not me, but that's what it's called. As one of the first packs to grace the workshop, it was one of those popular when it came out, with good reason. And to this day, I don't think there's a funnier Skeletron reskin. It even applies to the trophy Mask Skeletron Prime and even the Skeletron hand. This truly is the pinnacle of the Terraria workshop. And within the dungeon, the Union Bone seems to have gotten some new speakers and grip, because we've got the Dungeon Trap remix, which actually sounds insanely good. Sadly, couldn't find anything great for the mechanics, so she's just here. And as we approach the end of pre-hard mode, we've got to knock out the last of the NPCs of this part of the game. The clothier reskin is actually one of a set that turns nearly every NPC into a corresponding boss. I tried not to get too many of these, but I had to indulge myself by getting Moonlord Party Girl. It was the only good Party Girl skin, it was a neat reference to the Anniversary world, and it's just so absurd I couldn't pass on it. Additionally, in the category of utterly useless additions, the Goblin Tinker will now always be named Tinky. I don't know why I got this. Now the Tavern Keep's obviously known for selling alcohol, but what if you could get you something a bit stronger, like meth. Blue meth. I don't know why the creator opted to go with Heisenberg over the Tavern Keep of all NPCs, but I don't mind it, it fits strangely well. Last and least favorite NPC, the Stylist. If you can't find her, I don't blame you. This texture pack simply reveals her true form. Utterly useless garbage, except you can actually put items in trash can in this game, so which one's more valuable? And now, dear viewer, I ask you, have you ever felt like you're being haunted? Like, no matter where you go or where you do, you always see some trace or reminder of something. Be it a stupid memory, a person you fell in touch with, or in my case, this stupid show. It feels like anywhere I go, I see some weird reminder of my favorite least favorite show that I reviewed a while back. Like it's forcing me to think about it. And imagine my surprise when I saw Toru Zoologist on a Steam Workshop. This one is actually in the collection, but I felt like I needed to download it, partially because I'm being followed by a TV show, and partially because the thumbnail of the workshop is so hilariously stupid. Also, why is it trademarked? Is it official? That honestly wouldn't surprise me given the freaking media we're talking about here. I swear this show will not leave me alone. I'm actually cursed. Finally, when you're ready to finish up pre-hard mode, one final challenge awaits you. In the depths of the underworld, you can find a massive pure horror with a single mindset, impeding your progress using the most disgusting methods possible. Naturally, I'm talking about Walmart, but luckily it's just in the background, so it can't hurt you. For now. But if you actually want to start hard mode, you'll fight the Wall of Flesh, which I naturally had to find the perfect pack for. And what better way to end pre-hard mode than with the perfect foil to get started, the Wall of Guide. What a fitting conclusion. Early hard mode has a ton of minor additions that knock out pretty quickly. Pirate music has been replaced by another fairly predictable but not bad joke. And to counter that, the pirate staff now summons Pikmin instead of pirates for some reason. Anglerfish now live up to their name much better. Unicorns have officially gone out of fashion. These days, we're all about Hot Wheels, baby. Get with the times. And to finish off this stretch, my final actually useful addition, Wing Power. It's pretty self-explanatory and has a feature I wanted in the game for years, so I put it in. Well now, what do we have here? This is no ordinary chest, my friends. This right here is a Mimic. And this is why I decided to use my one wife who passed on. It's unexpected, unusual, unintrusive, and a brilliant pun, making it the only wife pack truly worthy of my attention. Sadly, it doesn't work on biomimics, but oh well, nobody's perfect. Now, the mechanicals. Skeleton Prime is naturally an upgraded version of Skeletron. Must have done something with his head sprite though, because everything else works fine except for that, for whatever reason. The story has been replaced by a much more menacing worm. Even the pros have turned into those googly as they go on these things. Very fun pack. And the twins don't have anything of note. Tragic. After being the mechanical, solar eclipses can occur. This event is known for having a bunch of monsters from old movies from the 30s to 40s. So what better way to update it with a horror icon from modern times, ever present in the skies. Even comes with music. It's also at this point you can get your hands on one of the most iconic weapons in the game, the Terra Blade. This thing is pretty much the icon of Terraria, so why not represent that a bit better? Nothing represents the game better than the logo of the game you can use as a weapon. Plantera is next on the chopping block, in the back I briefly showed earlier, but that was a smaller part of the glory that is Piranha Plantera. Such a perfect idea, but it doesn't come with any Mario music. No matter though, I've got it covered. There's only one soundtrack that can possibly fit for weed whacking to this degree, and the heavy metal cover just adds to the intensity. And while we're here, Golem's been given a complete overhaul. This was another pack that was really popular when the workshop was new, and it's still the best Golem reskin around. I love seeing the Magic School Bus again, and somehow it just kind of feels like it works on Golem. I can't explain why. Maybe just too happy jamming out to the theme song with every fight. We may as well just conclude the NPCs now, as we don't have many left at this point. The tax collector has been replaced by the only character possibly old and green enough to take the role of this geezer, who sadly does not come with his own theme song. Oh well. Despite being a futuristic machine man, the cyborg seems pretty set on taking you back to the past, in a reskin so bizarre I can't imagine what's going on with Korea's mind when they made it, but it's really damn well made, so I can't complain. And last and least, we're supposed to have Shrigma Male Truffle, but this one tragically doesn't work, because it seems like it's supposed to be hilariously low quality. I'll keep it in hopes that the creator will ever return to it. Luckily, the Truffle's pet Toad still works fine, thank goodness. Home stretch now, let's do some other bosses. The Empress of the Hollow decided that light colors and pink are just so out of fashion these days, and decided to up her drip. Oh yeah, now you can suffer through the daytime fight feeling fresher than ever before. And finishing off the optional bosses, the Duke has been upgraded. He's looking better than ever, and is ready to kick your ass and chew your bubblegum. After beating Golem, you also get access to the last of the events. The old one's armies invented didn't touch on until now, simply because there isn't much good for it. However, the event's boss does have a pretty nice change for her. Betsy's known for relentlessly charging at the player on the crystal with the crazy speed of a bullet train, or in this case, a tank engine. Basically the same thing though. And while I couldn't find anything for Frost Moon, Pumpkin Moon had a couple of nice packs. The first one's another obvious but well appreciated music change, and listening to Knuckles rap out the Master Emerald can sure make the respawn time seem shorter, because you die a lot to the Pumpkin Moon, especially when you have such psychotic enemies as this terrifying being of multiple faces storming around. Jokes aside, General Pumpkin is one of the funniest reskins in this collection. This one actually feels like it fits super well. Best packs for the best event, I suppose. And here we are, the last few steps in our adventure. As our first barricade, all of our Rain, Angry Boats, and Empress of Light training has prepared us for the coolest of all, the Cultists, Worshippers of the Divine Record. My favorite part of this isn't even from this pack. The cultist battle music just has to be the same as Golem's, so if you don't kill every cultist right away, these will just be jamming out to the Magic School Bus theme, which is actually the best part of this entire collection. After being the coolest of the cultists, the lunar event will begin. As an omen of things to come, the soundtrack has been replaced by Half-Life 2 music. The mod fits for a couple reasons, not just building alien things, but for some more things coming soon. But before we deal with that, we gotta knock out the pillars, now with 50% more sodium. I would say this is the last complete nonsense pack, but there's still more to come. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this in any version of my script, but strollers have also been completely mutilated. After you fell the pillars, it's finally time for the final boss. And boy, do I hope you brought your passport for this one. After a climactic battle which may end up costing you a few play coins, completely the different Half-Life 2 song, you'll emerge victorious, having beaten Starman's pack of misery. And as you celebrate shooting lasers from a crystal with the power of US presidents, and partying with whatever the hell this thing is, we really look back on the road we took to get here, or rather, the highway, as we reminisce about our journey and the Cars movies. Playing through this pack is quite the experience. Does it improve the Terraria experience? Probably not. Is it fun to do so? Yeah it is. While these packs individually aren't much, take any clip of multiple of them together and you'll see what an utter mess it becomes. But still a tolerable, playable, fun mess, which is what I want to make in this collection. If there's any packs you feel could fill some holes here, let me know in the comments. I want to make this the best, worst Terraria pack you can get, and any feedback helps with that. If you are interested in playing the pack, I'll link in the description. And remember, I did not make any of these. All the credit goes to the creators of the resource packs themselves. Give them the praise, not me. And that should do this for this video. This is a bit different from my usual stuff, but it's a little project I've been working on for a while, and I wanted to do a more casual video to show it off. If you liked the video, subscribe to tell me that. I'm still on the verge of 500 subs, and getting there would be pretty cool. And with that said, thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.